exactly what that is. That's somebody wanting to get the chief warrant officers to heal.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen.
No. Yeah. And we're
shit.
like,
Okay. All right. If you would like to keep the heat on, because it was cold this morning, and the cold is bad on Jim's old bones.
Yeah.
Donate here. Yeah, keep the heat on, because damn. If you like coffee, of course. King Harvest Imperial Coffees. If you order from them, please remember them. Remember that you to remind them that I'm having a bad day. Let them know you heard about it from us.
Yeah.
Good God.
Unless you order blanket fort or raconteur present, in which case they're not going to know you heard it from us.
Not necessarily. Apparently, the blanket fort's becoming fairly popular. Smartass t-shirts, tinyurl.com. Can we just redo this whole thing? I'm so pissed off about the warrant officer thing. I can't see straight. tinyurl.com, Among the Leaves Tees, for all your Smartass t-shirt needs. Run by a friend of ours. Again, let them know you heard about it from us. Thank you for my story injection email. What the fuck? Is she being smartass?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, what started this rant before we had gone to air is a Marine Corps gunner,
Chief Warrant Officer 5.
Chief Warrant Officer 5, is being charged with being AWOL, court-martial, because he was working outside the Marine Corps and has not had a fitness report since 2019.
Okay.
So they are charging him with unauthorized absences from the Joint Task Force from 2022 through May of 2023. And this includes being absent from the Marine Corps Warfighter Lab. However, he was working remotely for both of them because the Army, in their infinite wisdom, that I can say that.
I can't. Not with a straight face.
Took over the Defense Department's Close Combat Lethality Task Force, which he was seconded to by Mattis in 2018. And they moved it to Georgia.
Hmm.
He was in D.C.
Hmm. They apparently received permission to remote from D.C.
Yes, which he did. And he was doing the same thing with both the Marine Warfighter Lab and with another Marine Training Command. So somebody's out to get him. Somebody's out to try to bring...
Well, it's either that, or like I said, it's either that or somebody's trying to bring the Chief Warrant Officer 5s to heel.
How can you bring somebody to heel that nobody ever sees?
Well, that's the thing is Chief Warrant Officers, especially 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Chief Warrant 5s are mavericks. They get to do pretty much what they want, and they need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Somebody, apparently, according to Jim, all this was from an anonymous complaint filed with command.
Yeah.
Leave the Wobblies alone.
You do not want them angry at you.
You're not going to get the Wobbly 5s under control. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
This is some pencil pushing, string bane schmuck at the 5-sided puzzle palace. This decided that the Chief Warrant Officer 5s need to be military.
Who's never been in an actual military command before.
Either that or it's somebody in the Army that wanted to get even. Yeah, it's not the first time that has been done.
Considering your stories about some of the things you've done to the Air Force out of pure spite.
No.
Leave the warrant officers alone.
I'm not sure the statute of limitations has run out on some.
Don't piss off the warrant officers.
No.
It's not going to work.
You do.
Especially not the warrant officer 5s.
Yeah.
They have rabbied so many people and they know so many secrets. And they still got the shovels where they had to bury the bodies.
I have seen a 3-star admiral say sir to a Army W5 that was on his staff.
Yeah, leave the wobbly fives alone.
Well, you know about the rank progression of wobblies,
Yeah.
don't you? Wobbly 1 can dog paddle.
Yeah.
A wobbly 2 can walk on water if it's thick enough, and but he still gets his legs wet.
Yeah.
Wobbly 3 can walk on water. Wobbly 4 has no problem walking on water, and wobbly 5 just freezes water with a single glance.
Yeah. 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 Well, this W5 that I worked with was Army. He'd been in 160th SOAR, retired. They brought him back on active duty and sent him to 3rd Fleet to coordinate with 3rd Fleet to qualify Army helicopters on small boys, destroyers, DDGs, and the LPHs and LHAs. So that was what he did. But he would always schedule it so that the destroyer was parked right off Point Loma where he could watch it. And he would critique the pilots from his office.
With his feet on the desk and a cup of coffee or a mug of coffee in his hand.
Yeah. And he actually loaned me a couple of H-64s one time because we had a little incident out at the range when I was in the middle of running testing.
Well, you didn't have to mention the cup of coffee in his hand.
Yeah.
A warrant officer 5 without a cup of coffee in his hand is like a chief's boat without a coffee in his hand.
Yes.
No kidding.
We actually had to use 2 AH-64s that were out doing a missile X, firing missiles at Santa Clemente to chase a privately owned yacht off the range.
That should be enough firepower to do it.
Yeah, I think a single run with the chain gun ought to take care of that.
Well, they didn't shoot anything, but they euphemistically made low passes.
Single run with a chain gun, just
Yeah.
right beside the boat. No can move. Trust me.
Of course, when he snuck back around after they left, the SEAL team got to play for real. So they did a combat boarding, and he was out there with his young secretary, quote unquote.
Uh-huh.
So the yacht got confiscated,
Oh,
and he got charged.
oh.
And his wife gave him hell.
And well, I don't know about that, but the secretary went away.
I can just about guarantee that if he's out there on the yacht with a secretary to hide it, he's got a wife and she gave him hell.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I may not have divorced him because, money.
I see James Anders has popped on. Hey,
Yeah.
Jim.
Morning, Jim.
Jim's been trying to get me to duck hunt. Him and Kelly Grayson think I need to go duck hunting, which I do. But Jim posted on Facebook a picture of a duck I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
And now, I forget what it's called. It's some weird name, but this duck, I didn't know it existed. And now I'm going to have to friggin' go duck hunting just so I can get one.
Okay.
Bufflehead, that's it.
Buffalo head.
Bufflehead duck. It is a gorgeous little duck. It really is. And it's like, hell, now I need to go hunting.
The EPA has never stayed in their lane. You know that as well as I do, Rick.
One of the reasons why I'd like to see the EPA shut down. Put their
One of many.
one of many, but that's actually, to me, it's the fact they won't stay in their lane is the worst reason for it.
Yeah.
They were brought in to clean up places like Love Canal and things like that.
Right.
And that's never been what they've cared about.
Yeah.
Mostly it's screwing with people.
They're very rare. You had to say that.
Beats the hell out of me, RK. I think 7 1/8 is the hat size I wear.
Who will turn the rivers orange if not the EPA? No kidding.
Speaking of regulatory agencies, Ag Tiger, who's not on today, passed me a rather interesting piece from the NRC. Apparently, they lost a shipment of radioactive material that was going to disposal. They did not state the total amount lost, but the container was busted open and it was empty when it arrived at the disposal.
Wonder if somebody's building their own pill bed.
And this was in New Jersey.
Well, I hate to tell folks this, but one, what gets labeled as nuclear is there's a lot of stuff that okay.
It was in the plant. It may have got a dose of radiation. Bury it.
Well,
If
this is radioactive material. Apparently off of gauges. What kind of gauges, I don't know. There
Probably
was
pressure.
very limited information in the report from the NRC, but it did state that it cannot be handled safely. So,
Well, the thing about safely is, depending on who's making that judgment call.
thank you, Steph. 0.261 MCI. Yep, that's it.
Oh noes. Anyway, it's clickbait. It's quite honestly, I think it's a clickbait headline, but that's just me.
No, this is from the NRC. This is an NRC report that he sent me. But it does make you wonder what else is missing out there and why the report just came out. You know, if you want to go full conspiracy theory, which
Let's find banana equivalent dose real quick.
that may be why all the drones are flying over New Jersey. They're trying to find it. You know,
It would be a useful way to find it.
and they're accusing the Navy of doing it, and the Navy doesn't have those drones. I know enough about what's going on that side. We did some other drone stuff. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, it differs. What's missing? Leadership, accountability, responsibility, and brains. All of the above.
Okay, so
Oh.
you're describing the military in general and government especially.
Okay, so banana equivalent dose is 0.1 microsieverts.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was 0.62. What?
Point was lower than that. 0.21, I think.
That's not
0.26.
microsieverts, so that's
All right, where the hell is it?
microcuries.
0.261 microcuries, yeah. But there were multiples of them missing.
No.
So anyway, it's coming up on Christmas. I hope folks have mostly got their shopping done,
I hope Rita's got her shopping done.
or at least started.
Well, I found out something I need to get myself for Christmas just today. I just found out that M79 grenade launchers are legal.
Millicuries. Thank you, Winkle Red. A microrem or millirem per hour, yeah.
I just found that M79 grenade launchers are legal to own.
Oh, really?
Or at least that was the claim made today.
I think they're destructive devices.
And you can buy the expended 40 millimeter shells to use as signaling devices.
You can get 37 millimeter flare launchers
Yes.
that are.
Apparently the grenade launchers too, Kermit.
And
So that means the one you got in the back of your truck you need to get rid of.
I'll take it. I mean,
M79s are DD, destructive devices. I thought they were because the need to register under an NFA and the $200 tax. Yes.
Yeah.
And then he can't leave Texas if he gets it.
but they're so nice.
Yeah,
No,
Nancy,
they're not. Get 2 or 3.
you can own one as long as you have the license. Yeah, like for suppressors, same. And there are a few of them out there that I'm aware of. Yeah, the grenades need a $200 stamp apiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what sucks.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize those 40 millimeters are reloadable.
The bullshit tax. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yes. Yes.
We're not going to get into the whole
Each
NFA
round
thing.
also requires a tax stamp per round. You all see the tax stamps on a case of flashbangs.
Yeah.
Bloody ridiculous.
Yeah. Just funny story. My buddy who passed away a couple of years ago was the head of the SWAT team at Texarkana, also was the chief of detectives. And he had a number of devices for training purposes, including actual flashbangs that they use for training and flashbangs for SWAT. And the shit he went through with ATF over that, because they would try to come in. Now, this is a police department. They would try to come in and inspect the police department armory. And he's going, no, you do not need access. You do not have access.
You don't get access.
You don't get access. But we have to verify that you have these. No, you don't. He said, besides which, there's other stuff in there you don't need to see anyway.
I know that when I was in the infantry, these many eons ago,
Yeah.
We used to practice setting up tripwires.
Yeah.
And what we normally used was practice grenade fuses.
Yeah.
You get a little pop and that's it.
Mhm.
Someone set up a set of ambush tripwires,
Oh.
and they had actual flashbangs.
Oh.
That'll wake you up.
The complaints from the troopies that set them off were epic.
Yeah, yes.
I actually got a letter back from the State Department 3-4 years ago saying my application to file as an insurgency, as an insurgent organization, was denied. And I wanted my Hiluxes and a pallet of cash.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Speaking of back in the day, Sanford and I took a smoke break. We were standing outside got talking about shoes. And when we were kids, Converse was the tennis shoe. The Converse All-Stars was what you bought. And they were $4 a pair of shoes.
And they were the expensive ones. My mother went to the Five and Dime and got the cheap ones.
I didn't know there were cheaper ones. And we both got to laughing about the fact that Converse All-Stars are now a status symbol.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, that was what we used for everything. You used it for your gym class, you used it to run, you wore it to school. You know, hell,
If you were in Rhodesia, you wore the Chuck Taylors out in the bush.
yeah.
And the thing about it that I remember is having to have a separate set of gym shoes that had to stay in the gym in the locker.
Yes.
And if you tried to walk across coach's floor on basketball court with a pair of street shoes.
Oh yeah. That was the memory that popped up in my head. Was the basketball coach would not allow us on the basketball court in anything but our gym shoes out of our locker.
And that includes the sidelines. It's
Yeah.
not just the playing area.
Yeah.
When we were at Abu Dhabi, we went to American Community School there, and they had the gym. The floor was felt. Yeah, it was felt. When it first went in, I thought it was great because we didn't have to wear separate shoes to go across the gym floor, and it was felt, and it had colored inserts. So I think the yellow was American basketball, and red was field hockey. It's like 20 different colors for setting, team handball, which I wish would catch on in the States because team handball is fun. Team handball was purple, if I remember right. And I used to think, man, this is great. I don't have to change out my shoes. Then I discovered that if one of the little bastards was outside in the coral, because Abu Dhabi there's a lot of coral on dredged up. There's a lot of Abu Dhabi's dredged, and they got coral. And if a chunk of coral is in your shoe and gets embedded in the felt, not only do you get that lovely rug burn when you take a tumble, but you get a surgical laceration down the middle of it.
Yep.
Well, what I'm thinking, trying to imagine is trying to dribble on felt. I mean, I was never good at dribbling anyhow. Well, not I could dribble a cup just fine, but a basketball is a whole nother matter. And I just can't imagine trying to dribble on felt.
Yeah, they cost a minimum of $80 today. Oh, coral, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
coral.
Yeah.
Coral. Yeah.
It's the
Your
accent
accent.
again.
Oh, bloody hell. No, I love team handball, but my God, you get aggressively checked, and you have rug burn from hip to ankle
Oh, yeah.
on that felt.
Well, we had,
Didn't break anything.
yeah, when we deployed to Bermuda, that was one of the things everybody got warned about was if you got a coral cut, you had to immediately go to medical, where they would then scrub it with a wire brush to get all the pieces out.
Yeah.
And we had one poor bastard that took a tumble on his motorcycle,
Ooh.
and he had strawberries all down his arm and all down his leg because he had on shorts. And he ended up getting medevac to Bethesda.
Well, I'm still thinking about his coral or
Yeah.
curl. And when he first said it, I thought he was saying kraut, which is not the same thing.
The tinnitus is really screwing with you guys today, isn't it?
No, but it was closer to kraut than it was to coral.
Yeah.
It's coral.
Team handball, lacrosse, full contact fun. Yes.
Field hockey.
Field
Woo!
hockey. Yeah. Oh, God.
The amount of Carl we brought. Carl.
Coral.
Coral.
That's what I've been saying.
No, you've
No,
been
it's
saying
not.
Carl.
Coral.
Carl.
Anyway, the amount of that stuff that my mother brought back from Abu Dhabi, we had it stacked in the yard.
Yeah.
Because it's lovely stuff. I think you're saying coral. Not my accent. It's y'all's hearing.
Eh,
I think the shell that the squirrels have been gnawing on the front porch is one of the ones we get on with what?
Stop arguing over the word and get on with the show.
Somebody's cranky this morning.
And I think half the people are out there laughing about the argument over how someone mispronounces
Coral.
All
It's coral.
right, moving on. Oh. Books.
Books. Pogue
MCA
One.
Horgarth's got a new one out.
Yes, she does.
We've all lost the point. Plot, whatever.
What
Rails.
plot? We never have a plot.
MCA Hogarth's got a new book
Yes,
out.
she does.
John Van Stride just sent me the first half of the Next Wolfhounds last night.
Oh, I'm trudging through his the novel he gave us.
Yeah.
And when I say trudging, it's not because it's bad. It's just I don't have time. I'm doing 14 squillion other things.
Well, pass it to me and I'll read it. I'll tell you if it was good or not.
We'll see, Jesse. I'm not making any statements.
But and we've got another big name author sent us a kid's story, a kid's book, a boy's book. It reads like a Heinlein juvenile.
All right.
It really does. It's. I'm so chuffed. This is gonna be great.
And,
Hell of a start.
Pogue One
Pogue One is out. Something about rejection letters. I saw-
contracts are out.
Contracts are out. Yep.
Yeah, John Ringo has been putting up some unfinished Troy Rising 4 on his Substack.
I forget who's doing the edits on Pogue One.
Mike.
No, Mike picked the stories. Guys, we got we got some fantastic stories. We really did. And there were, everybody is all apparently up in arms about not being selected. And I think we're going to have a Substack post about that. But again, we're coming to the point, we're at the point where we have an embarrassment of riches and we simply don't have the time for individualized rejection letters. A whole bunch of folks got rejected because we got a whole bunch of submissions and only 10 slots.
Yeah.
And just because you got rejected doesn't mean it was a bad story. It simply means that it didn't fit. It just wasn't right. Doesn't mean it bad, just wasn't right.
Well, I can give you a perfect example. The story that I submitted for All Will Burn was not selected for the first one.
Hmm.
It was selected for the second one.
It fit the second one better.
Yeah. So it's,
How about
nobody.
a blanket notice of your story didn't suck. We just didn't have room.
Yeah.
There will be a notice some way, one way or another. We're still refining our TTPs. It'll either be on Substack or something. We're working on it. Give us a little time. We'll get it sorted.
That's interesting, Michael. I never thought about that.
What?
Using Nando sauces in the Chex Mix. That could be an interesting taste.
Worth trying.
Yeah.
Huh. That's actually
That
sounds
has some
pretty good.
interesting possibilities.
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Y'all make it and I'll come over and eat it.
Broke you in a good way for a change. Yeah. That actually sounds. I'm trying to figure out how I do that.
Well, just like you do the regular Chex Mix that you make. The frying pan, the
Mhm.
sauce in it, cook
That's
it down.
Nando.
That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so not this Saturday because
It should
You're
work well with habanero curry.
Yeah, no kidding.
so not this Saturday because we're doing something else, but the following Saturday you're bringing appetizers, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I am busier than a one-legged man in a butt kicking contest. Actually, the black cherry habanero would probably work really well with Chex Mix.
Yeah. And Bill says you should use coffee rub and Dillo dust mix in your.
Oh yeah, yeah. That does sound
I
good.
always made mine with Worcestershire and garlic.
I think that's
salt.
pretty much the traditional way of
Yeah.
doing it.
I'll eat that too.
Yeah.
I will let everybody know. Now know my wife likes to experiment a lot, and whatever she makes, no matter how obscene I consider the
I would
ingredient
stop
list,
right there.
Yeah.
Just stop right there.
I mean, she likes to put way too much citrus in savory food.
Yeah.
She's not wrong,
That's a matter of opinion.
and your opinion is wrong.
Yeah. Cajun Powers Worcestershire is good. I use Lee and Perrins. Always have.
Lee and Perrins is the classic.
Yeah.
If you've got the scratch, the W sauce is fantastic.
If
It's
you
just
can find it.
if you can find it, and if you're willing to pay 5 times the going rate
Yeah.
for Lee and Perrins.
Hey, Cedar, the lasagna was excellent. Thank you.
In other news, I got a email from Savannah this morning. They managed to find a backup of my blog, and it should be up.
Hey.
It should be. They're trying to get it reloaded. Once it's reloaded, I'll have until January 17th to do something. I start paying through the sinuses. So I need to talk to Cedar and Jack, and I'm off of Epic. And once I get my intellectual property back, there's going to be a post.
So,
Talk to a lawyer that's been doing contract law for over 20 years. friend of ours, good guy. Y'all probably know him. He's also a paramedic in his spare time because he's a glutton for punishment, apparently.
Yeah.
And I got this lovely letter back from legal. For those of you who don't know, Epic, I sent back in the first week of December, I sent a email to Epic's legal team saying, hey, well, I was on a chat with Savannah, and she got a hold because she's a jewel. Don't hurt Savannah. Epic is a pulsating ball of suck and fail, but Savannah is the bright light there. So she gets hold of legal. Legal said, we never got that. So I said, okay, because I had cut and pasted it from a chat that we had previously. So I went to my sent folder. I called up the email I sent her legal, highlighted the address that I sent it to, copied and pasted it into the sent line. Be son of a gun, they got it using that one.
Yeah. So in other words, they got it and blew it off.
Yeah, they blew it off. Well, they sent me a email reply, which I forwarded to the lawyer, and we got to talk about it. And he said, well, that is probably the most inarticulate, fuck you, no, what are you going to do about it, email I've ever seen. So we had a long talk, and he said, hey, baby, to be perfectly honest, we could get the $1,400, $1,500 back. No problem. The issue is it'll be a minimum of $2,000 to do it.
Yeah. Yep, that's the sad part.
And they know this. The Epic's legal team knows this. So everybody's saying sue them.
Ask the lawyer about punitive damages.
There aren't any in small claims.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this would be small claims. Punitive damages is not a thing.
And you can't go after lawyers' fees in small claims.
Nope. And small claims court in Texas is the jurisdiction of the Justice of the Peace, which is not a court of record, and also has absolutely zero enforcement ability outside of the state of Texas, and Epic's in Washington or Wyoming, depending on who you talk to, or Idaho. Their chief legal counsel's in Idaho. It's odd. So anywho, I'm going to, if I can get everything back and I have all my intellectual property, I'm going to chalk this up to lessons learned. I apologize to you guys for wasting your money and host it somewhere else. If I cannot, if they blow the install and lose my intellectual property, that, happy readers, is a whole different kettle of fish.
Yep.
That's a whole different kettle of fish. They bring it back and I have all my intellectual property, it's small claims. If they've destroyed my intellectual property, well, children, it is now what we call a learning occasion.
Bill actually raises a good point. Is it actually a small claim since your blog is down and that's technically possibly loss of income?
I'm not making any income off the blog.
Directly.
Directly.
You're making indirect income.
Yeah.
Nope. Moved it to Substack. All my indirects coming to Substack. Not getting any coffee. There's been no donations to the blog in a while. So there's actually no, and I don't run ads. So there's actually no income. It is somewhat of a, lost a word, marketing thing, but we can't quantify marketing.
Yeah, that's the problem, Bill. You can't quantify marketing.
Yeah.
Even though the internet presence does bring readers to books and other outlets.
When you break it down, the blog posts, most people these days, and I hate this, are accessing my blog posts through Facebook.
Yep.
So it's Facebook is the actual advertising nexus.
Hey, James, how it goes?
Which annoys the crap out of me, but neither here nor there. So once the blog's back up, I say I'll have until January 17th to get everything off And Savannah said she'll give, if we need help, to ask for her.
Oh, yes, Kermit, that's a good idea.
But
Let Sarah insta it. Haha, yes.
goodness, she's feeling better, and said, "Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you." Yeah, that. There's, for those of you who know, there's a bug going around, and it's an interesting little bug. I'm here to tell you, it's not long lasting, but it's vicious. James Copley, you didn't lose all of your content, did you? Well, there was briefly a question about that, but Epic's engineers found a backup copy. And I think one of the reasons I'm getting the month free is that they had a big oopsie. December 5th, I notified their legal,
Yeah.
hey, I'm contesting this. And I think as soon as I found it, is when my blog got disappeared.
Yeah.
As I started doing a deep dive on Epic, and goodness, if y'all are on Epic, move. I'm here to tell you, if y'all are on Epic, you might consider moving, because they are neither ethical nor moral.
Okay. I have a question. Is there a blog host out there that is ethical, moral, and competent?
Pick two.
Yeah, the guy hosting my stuff.
Yeah.
But he is private. He is not doing it publicly.
Okay, so it's not really hosting. It's somebody that you can host you. It's not somebody who could host Ian, for example, or
Well,
me.
we've got a server. I can host it, and we can host it here quite easily, apparently. The issue being that the Blanket Fort has a Vexus fiber in and out, and Vexus fiber is decent. It really is. It's a decent, I think, 100 meg up and down.
Yeah.
About once every 24 months, I have a post go viral. See Nord Stream.
Yeah.
And that fiber coming into the shop is Rita's eBay business. It's Jonna's eBay business. It's Raconteur Press's business.
And it will crash the server in a heartbeat.
And I don't. If I do another Nord Stream off the pipe coming in here, John and Rita won't be able to do their business, and they lose money
For an extended period of time, probably.
Yeah. Well, the first Nord Stream crashed my blog for a month.
Yeah.
I was getting 50,000 views a minute.
Oh yeah.
And we can't do that here. Cloud provider. Cloud provider is everybody else's computer.
Yeah. Why do you want to have all your stuff on somebody else's computers, multiple, not knowing where in the world they are actually located or who they belong to?
Oh, so you're Salted John. All right. Yeah, and it's when it was on Blogspot, then Blogger, I wasn't having to pay. And if I put it on, if we mirror it on the server here, and then set up a Substack, those who don't like Substack can log in here. There won't be that many of them. Everybody else can go to Substack. And the thing I'm working on with Substack is it's a combination of blogging and microblogging. Microblogging being what Facebook and Twitter, X, whatever, Blue Sky are. And I can start weaning myself off of Facebook, because Facebook is a creativity killer. It really is. Facebook is a time suck, and it kills your creativity.
Yeah, Rick, that is true. They do have gigabit or better pipes to the internet. However,
They cost.
and it's not secure.
I don't want to have.
Anybody that says anything on the web is secure is full of shit.
No.
Yeah, Facebook is nothing but ads anymore.
Yeah.
When I tried to look at it this morning to put up our little post about this, the first 23 or 24 posts that I looked at were nothing but ads.
I was at the gym this morning, so I didn't get on Facebook till I got here. And first thing I do is go to my memories and post memories. They're fun. Then it was everything I could find. The first 8 were ads, and then I was into the Happy Thanksgiving posts. Thanksgiving was a while ago back.
Well, one of the things that I run into on the Book of Feces is that they show me a few people. Oftentimes, people that I really don't particularly care for, but they're still on my friends list. But the people that I really would like to hear from on occasion, I never see a post from. And I'm talking about, I see like 20 or 30 people.
Yeah.
There are 500 people on my friends list, roughly. I should see all of them at least occasionally. You know, I don't have to expect to see everybody on my friends list, everything they post. That's excessive.
Yeah.
But at least, 50 of them a day.
Yeah.
Change 50. Or even 25 a day and change to 25 every day.
We have a bunch of authors on Facebook, and the North Texas Troublemaker on Facebook page is necessary for what we're doing right now. But I'm serious. Facebook kills creativity. It really does.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, Jim will get this. This mini rant here. Facebook is like a ranch, and we're the cattle. The Facebook is quite deliberately shutting off everybody from the rest of the internet. You can get it easier through us.
Yeah.
We can show you curate stuff better. Stay away from the great wild. Stay on this ranch.
Yeah.
And they curate what we see, like a rancher curates what the cows get to see.
Oh yeah.
And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of some leftist 20 something with his thumb knuckle deep past the ring in his nose, clicking on what he thinks that my 58-year-old butt needs to see.
And it's a lot like AOL was back 20 years ago when everybody thought AOL was the World Wide Web and it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
And trying to get off AOL.
Oh, yeah.
You could not. The only way I finally got off AOL after a year of fighting with them was to cancel the credit card that was billing to.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to come after me for that.
Well, and X, Twitter, everybody keeps saying go to X Twitter. And I understand, but the interface with X, Twitter, Twatter, Twix, whatever, is not intuitive to me. I cannot make heads or tail out of the interface. I click on a post, and apparently sometimes it's in the middle of a stream, middle of a thread, and I have no context. And it drives me nuts.
Or you click on the post and you can't find the stream that it's part of.
The other thing about Facebook that annoys the hell out of me is seeing stuff 3, 4, 5 days a week, 2 weeks late.
Yeah, it's like I said. When I got here and I went on Facebook and did memories, and then everything on my wall was either adverts for stuff that I clicked. Don't show me this. They're still showing me this crap. And everybody's hello Thanksgiving posts, happy Thanksgiving posts.
Oh yeah. I've been seeing those the past 3 days.
Today, bing, an entire wall of happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That was a while back.
Yeah, James, if you can scroll up, some of them, depending on where you enter Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it is, you may not be able to scroll up. You may not be able to scroll past the post that you're looking at.
And y'all know me.
Even to see the answers for the post you're looking at.
Yeah. Yes, as a matter of fact, Richard, I am still.
But
getting birthday wishes.
Y'all know me. I've been blogging for damn near 20 years. I can't write a 140 word post. This microblogging, you are restricted to 140 words, drives me nuts, or characters, drives me nuts. I hate having to break. I've tried Twix, and breaking my posts up into a series of 10 chunks is infuriating. I have longer than a 15-second attention span. I can write.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, just pay for Twix Premium or Prime or Platinum or whatever. No, I don't want it. I don't want to.
I just realized that's what I should go to Twix because or Twit or X or whatever because my writing style, my writing speeds, 50 words is plenty for me. That's how I got the 50-word story in that first anthology.
Yeah. Well,
Post our blog entries because he's paying for Twix Premium or Platinum or what, and I'm not going to pay.
I was never a fan of MySpace. Of course, I started out back when the internet was only text.
But by the time I found out about what MySpace was, MySpace was already past it.
Yeah.
Jim's internet was smoke signals.
300 baud modem. First modem I had was 300 baud.
No, I'm pretty sure that Jim's first internet was drums.
Bongogram.
It was that crossover that was so goddamn hard.
Oh, no, that's right. It was a carrier pterodactyl.
So I have no idea where we were going or what the subject was. Anyway,
We were bitching about Facebook.
apparently my blog is coming back and it will be moved somewhere. I have experts. We are Cedar being one of them, and we are discussing and we'll get this done. And monkeys.
Yeah, here's a robot dying every time he dialed up. Yes. And you could pick up where you were in the sequence by the tones as it was going through. And God forbid anybody else in the house picked up the phone because it immediately knocked you off.
Yep.
Because this was all over the phone lines.
Hang up. I'm on the internet.
And then it'd take you half an hour to get back on because there were so few providers.
More important, what the hell are you doing on the internet? I'm expecting a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay. Monkeys. Yes. Monkeys in the U.S. are the prime reason why we need to reintroduce the 5mm Remington Magnum, Rimfire Magnum,
Oh, not again.
and the 256 one. Yes.
No.
Yes. They're short range, they're accurate, and they do a lot of damage downrange. And you can make Reese's Pieces pretty easily.
Why with the friggin' Wildcat cartridges?
They're not Wildcat. They were factory cartridges.
They're Wildcats
They were factory cartridges at one time.
at one time.
If you want something that's short range, accurate enough, and will tear it into pieces, get that 40mm grenade launcher we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
This is
Tempting.
This is the same crap going on. I mean, this is the whole thing surrounding the 6.5 Creedmoor. About how much better a round it was than the 30-06, the 308,
If by 6.5 Creedmoor you say 6.5 by 55, yes, that's a damn decent round. 6.5 Creedmoor is a long range target. Don't shoot deer with a 6.5 Creedmoor.
No, you don't. And it's not that good for targets because it will burn the barrel out in 1,000 or 1,500 rounds.
Yeah, those guys only shoot 1,000 or 1,500 rounds. I wouldn't buy a 6.5 Creedmoor. I really wouldn't.
But people are buying them for hunting rounds.
Yeah, I know.
And they suck.
There's an internet meme on Facebook. It's the two Indians in the snow, and one of them is kneeling down looking at track, and the caption is, "Deer hit by round will survive." How do you know? 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, you see this, since the dawn of time. These people will come out with a new round.
Hmm.
Oh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and it'll do this, this, and this.
Within a certain narrow envelope, they're not wrong.
They're not wrong, but
They
What-
try to expand it.
what happens is when they expand it, now you get a bunch of Wildcat cartridges out there that are absolutely useless for anything other than that very narrow window it was developed for. And
Shooting monkeys.
38 super carry or 45 gap. Yep.
30 super carry.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting round. It really was. I wish it had been marketed properly. 30 super carry is an interesting round. It really is.
Yeah.
But it was not marketed properly.
Well, I still wish we could get the old gyrojet pistol ammunition.
40
Nah,
Smith and Wesson. Yeah. That was another one.
357 SIG.
Yeah.
Which on paper is a great round. 357 SIG is a fantastic round. It is basically a 125 grain jacket to hollow point 357 in a 12 round pistol, rapid reload pistol.
Yeah,
It's just
327. That's another one.
32 H&R Magnums eating the 327's lunch. It's a smaller cartridge.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, Kermit. If you keep your 6.5s under 3,000 feet per second, you're okay. And that only works if you're using the correct bullet, which by and large is made by Berger. Berger is not cheap.
Yeah, no kidding. Well,
I have shot in matches where guys were shooting the F600 matches where guys were shooting 6.5s and they were pushing them to 3,800, 3,900 feet per second.
that's why they're burning barrels.
And no, the normal 3,000 feet per second will burn a barrel out in 1,000, 1,500 rounds.
Mhm.
But they were literally exploding bullets
Well,
because even the Bergers
Yeah.
were not stable at 3,900 feet per
the
second.
angular momentum,
Yeah.
the rotational forces on a bullet going that fast will rip it apart.
Oh yeah, and it did.
Centrifugal force.
And I happened to be in the pits with the one son of a bitch that was doing that. And he was questioning every Maggie's drawers I put up because there was nothing in the target.
There is now I'm fixing to really light them up. There is a new rimfire round coming out called 21.
Oh, yeah.
21 something.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better than the 22. Yeah.
No, it's actually done for a very specific reason. I think Winchester is brilliant on this. 21 Sharp. I forget. 21.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah, it is designed for non-lead bullets and non-lead bullets only, which I think in the current political climate is brilliant. Lead is catching in the shorts.
Yeah.
Lead ammunition is going to be banned in California either this legislative session or next, because California is going to do everything they can to prove that the conservatives are wrong, and they'll ban lead ammunition across the board because of condors or something.
No, Sir Brass. What it is the bullet construction is not strong enough to hold together, regardless of what the size is.
But so they got a 21 Sharp, yes. So Winchester went, because even though California is a gunner's hell, California buys a lot of folks in California buy a lot of ammo.
Yep.
So the 21 Sharp is designed for every bit as good as a 22, every bit as cheap as a 22, but specialized for non-lead ammo.
Yeah.
Which is smart on there.
So who's going to develop a pistol for it? Who's going to develop a rifle for it? Who's going to manufacture those?
Winchester's manufacture them out the wazoo,
Yeah.
as is Browning and somebody else. But
So we have yet another Wildcat.
it's not a Wildcat if it's being done by a manufacturer.
Yeah, it is. What about the Ackley Improved?
Once it became loaded by a manufacturer, no longer Wildcat.
Go find me some.
It's
Go find me some at the store.
I'm sure SG Ammo's got some somewhere.
In a store.
I'm sure SG Ammo has something that anyway. So Winchester and Browning are
You
loading
just
this.
made my point.
I'm just not going to argue it. A Wildcat, by definition, is something not loaded by a manufacturer. It's loaded by private citizens. If it's loaded by a manufacturer, it's by definition no longer Wildcat.
Yeah.
Winchester is an ammo manufacturer, as is Browning. They're loading 21 Sharp. Savage and Winchester making rifles for it, and we'll see where it goes. But I think it's given the current climate and given the necessity of selling in California, it's smart. So
Yeah.
Does
Sir
it-
Brass, it's not the barrel's fault. You're getting into a very specific area which deals with more money than you want to spend on a rifle.
and also physics will not
Yeah.
be denied.
And physics is real. The 3-axis rotation of a barrel when you fire a round does have an impact.
But does this mean that this 21 caliber bullet will be able to fire silver bullets without all the contortions that you have to use?
Again, physics is a thing.
Have a good one, Bill.
Again, physics is a thing. Okay. Video regarding the Express 4570. Yeah, that is, of course, they took I think a Marlin.
Yeah.
Slapped a 10-inch barrel on it.
Yep.
And then another 12 inches of integral suppressor.
Yeah.
And woo, that is.
Well, that's the same thing I did with the 44 Magnum.
Mhm.
Exactly the same thing.
They took a Marlin bolt gun, and I think again same thing,
Yeah.
integral suppressor and a short barrel, and it is the click of the firing pin is louder than the report going off. It's woo.
Sir Brass, I'm not sure what goes faster in a rifle caliber than a 6.5 Creedmoor at 3,900 feet per second.
I don't know.
None that I'm aware of.
I remember 4,000 was the velocity that was the holy grail velocity
Yeah.
for a lot of folks.
And I don't think anybody's ever really gotten there reliably.
I think there was somewhere in back here somebody loaded a 4,000, but it was a home load.
Yeah.
And it was I think it was destroying bullets.
Yeah.
3,000 was the grail for a long time. Thus the 250 3,000. The 87 grain bullet at 3,000 feet per second out of the 250 was impressive at the time.
Yeah, that was record setting.
Oh yeah, and then they set 4,000 as the new, and I don't know if anybody's actually reliably beat it, but don't quote me on that.
Kermit, you got to understand it's F600 shooters. Their mentality is the faster they can get the bullet to go, the less the wind's going to have on it in 600 yards. It's just like the bench shooters.
If you want the fastest round,
Yeah.
you get sucky range, but a laser.
Yeah.
That's 186,000 feet per second.
I remember. Does anybody remember the Remington Accelerator rounds?
Oh yeah.
Remington Accelerator back in the day, this was 70s and 80s, was a commercial Sabo. And it was for the 30 caliber rounds. I had some in 30-30, and I think 30-06 and 308, but don't quote me on that.
Yep, that's correct.
And it was a 22 FMJ in a 30 caliber Sabo.
Yep.
And the velocity was smoking. The actually downrange was iffy.
Questionable.
Iffy. Really iffy. I have a 30-30 and you had to single load. You could not put these
No,
Sabo
you
rounds
cannot
in,
put 'em
in a
a-
tube.
in
You
a
could not
tube.
put them in the tube. So single loading. So the barrel was having time to cool off. And I think out of my grandfather's 336 Model 3, I was at 100 yards, I had 5-inch groups.
I think I was either 5 or 7 inch out of a 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things you can do, right and wrong.
Well, the
And
the physics and the physics question is why both of us are pretty sure the new Army load
Yeah.
is going to go away.
Yeah.
Because that 80,000 psi chamber pressure on that new Army load, something's got to give,
Yeah.
guys. Something's got to give.
Abrams main gun is smooth. Yeah, it's a smooth bore round. Period. And it's fired with a sabot.
Aluminum Sabo.
So you're figuring that after enough GIs eat a bolt,
Yeah.
they'll
Yep.
get rid of it.
Yeah.
At 80,000 psi, something's got to. You have chamber pressure this high. Something's got to give on the other end.
The metallurgy is not up to 80,000 psi.
The wear on the gun is going
Yeah.
to be the wear on the gun.
It'll be just like 6.5 Creedmoor. You're going to burn out barrels. You're going to burn out bolts.
And a 5.56 will burn out the number of barrels that I looked down when I was in the Army that you could see the wear and tear in them.
well, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Because Army M16s. Remembering, I was a small arms specialist. I was a gunsmith for the Army. The M16s at the time when in the 80s were going through a lot of rounds.
Yeah.
Especially in training units. They were getting just slap worn out. And the wear was from 150,000 rounds in 10 years.
Not arguing that, but
And we've wasted another hour of y'all's time. And
Holy crap, we have.
I'm just saying that the Army wouldn't replace the barrels in the M16s, which would handle a whole lot more than.
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah, well,
No
that's
kidding.
a whole nother kettle of fish. That's as bad as the friggin' Berettas cracking the slides.
You're not a SEAL if you haven't tasted Italian steel.
Oh, well, anyway, folks, I know people are going to start traveling this week for Christmas. So if you're on the road, be safe.
We will have a Thursday.
We will have a Thursday.
And I think we'll have a Tuesday next week, but I
Yeah.
don't know that we'll have a post-Christmas one next week.
Yeah.
We'll see. See how he
We'll
feels.
play it by ear.
We'll see how he feels.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, be safe out there.
Usually
Remember-
those fingers.
Don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. And we'll see you later.
Be safe, guys.
Bye. Yeah.